Today we're going to be reviewing the Pro-Ject DS2 Phono Preamp. Hey friends, welcome back. Recently, Pro-Ject reached out to me and asked if I would review their tube-box DS2 Phono Preamplifier. And as we've mentioned before on this channel, every vinyl audio setup needs 4 things in order for it to work properly. It needs a turntable, preamp, amplifier, and speakers. So this DS2 is a little preamp that fits into your vinyl audio setup between your turntable and your amplifier. So basically, if your turntable or receiver didn't come with a built-in preamp, then you can use this one to essentially bridge the gap. Now, as its name implies, this preamp also uses vacuum tubes in order to achieve a better overall sound. But considering its higher price tag, is it really worth it? Today we're going to find that out, and if you'd like to check it out for yourself, the link will be in the video description down below. Now before we dive in, today's song of the day is Won't You Be My Neighbor by Mr. Fred Rogers. With everything going on in the world right now, I figured we could use kind of a nice song to cheer us all up. And if you have a suggestion for a song of the day as well, post it in the comments down below and you could see it in a future video. Alright, so let's talk about this thing. So first off, everything comes in a large box, and once we open that up, we get a second box which has the instructions in both English und Deutsch. We get the power cable, the different adapters for different countries, and of course the preamp itself. So with all of this foam in the box and how everything's well packaged, you won't have to worry about anything getting damaged during shipping. I mean, this thing traveled all the way from Austria to Austin, and everything still looks good. So the preamp itself measures 9.5 inches wide by 7.5 inches deep and 2 3/4 inches tall. It works with both moving magnet and moving coil cartridges. On the top, it has 2 vacuum tubes, which are protected with some housing. On the front panel, it has the power button, the input and output buttons, and even a subsonic filter, which prevents your amplifier and speakers of producing ultra-low rumble below 20 Hz, which is helpful. It also has a few other buttons and a rotary dial to fine-tune the capacitance, the impedance, and the gain of your specific turntable cartridge. So this thing is pretty much tailor-made to give you the best sound possible. And it comes in 8 different finishes. Now, if we flip it around to the back here, we get the ground connection, the power connection, and 2 different gold-plated RCA input and outputs. Basically, it's set up this way to allow you to use 2 different turntables or even 2 different tone arms on the same turntable, if you've got like one of those fancy ones that allow you to do that. So to connect this preamp to the rest of your vinyl audio setup, all you gotta do is connect your turntable's RCA cable, the red and white cable, to the left and right connections on the number 1 inputs of the preamp. Then connect a separate RCA cable going from the number 1 outputs to the line input on your receiver. Or if you don't have a receiver, then you could just connect it to a pair of active speakers, and that should work just fine as well. Now, after you've plugged everything in, the most important thing is to get those settings dialed in just right. And to help you do that, inside the manual, Pro-Ject includes a few examples of the right settings for 3 different Ortofon cartridges. So since I have the Ortofon 2M Black back here, I pretty much just copied and pasted the exact same settings as the 2M Red, and everything sounds pretty good to my ears. But if you have a different cartridge, then you might want to either consult your manual from your cartridge or maybe do a quick Google search to find out the right settings for you. Now, the most important question of all is, how does this thing actually sound? Well, I've been playing around with it for the past couple of weeks now, and I am completely blown away by both the accuracy and the clarity of the sound. My old plug-and-play preamp has nothing on this beast. When I first played Kings of Convenience's album Quiet is the New Loud, which is right there on the wall behind me, it sounded as if their voices were like inches away from my ears. And the sound itself was much more three-dimensional, and I really enjoyed that. It was as if I was right there with those artists as they were in the recording studio recording those songs. And pretty much every record I played after that one sounded just as incredible. I think overall this one little piece of gear has really opened opened up the entire soundstage and dynamic range of my vinyl audio setup, and it's revealed a level of detail that I had never heard before. So basically, it was kind of like I was rediscovering all of my records all over again. And it was fun, you know, just hearing such a big difference. So clearly, I'm a fan of the tube box, and now that I've heard the difference myself, I think if you really want to get the best out of your vinyl setup and you're okay with spending a little more, then you definitely will not regret picking this thing up. So like I said, the link to it is going to be down below if you want to check it out for yourself. Now, what is your preamp setup? Is it internal, external, vacuum tube, or solid state? Let us know down in the comments below. And if you love all things vinyl record related, feel free to smack this red subscribe button right here and hit the bell notifications so you won't miss out on the new videos. And most importantly of all, friends, have a fantastic day, stay safe out there, and keep spinning that vinyl. Oh, and by the way, quarantine haircut.